apparently these treadmill talks are pretty popular. And first and foremost, I want to thank you all for subscribing to my YouTube channel. There's a lot of people that have subscribed over the last week or so. My push to get to 500, I want to get to 500 for a lot of reasons, but that's sort of a great number. I literally just pulled that out of my butt. I have, for those of you that are tuning in for the first time, or those of you that have come back, I have a renewed love for health and fitness and nutrition. I've always had a passion for helping people. That's what I've been doing for pretty much my whole life, helping people become the best versions of themselves. But thanks to Sadik Hadzovic and his last challenge, the Beyond the Physique transformation challenge that I was a part of just recently, it sparked something in me. And I would encourage you all, if you are looking for something to jumpstart your health and wellness journey, your fitness journey, your transformation journey, I would strongly suggest that all of you look into that. We've got time right now. We're going to be doing this from home, all of us, most of us. And I think, again, I can't pinpoint exactly when it happened, but it happened during the transformation. As you guys know, I've been involved for a long time. I've helped thousands of clients over the years with their diet, with their nutrition, with their fitness goals, with their life goals. I've become more of a life coach recently, helping people with the mental aspect of things and staying focused and the accountability. But what's interesting is I'm always preaching that, most people need a coach. Most people need someone to be accountable to. One of the things that I realized, or that Ryan and I realized along the way when we started our company, Sculpt Health and Wellness, was that we were dealing with elite athletes and CrossFitters and hockey players and football players, martial artists, bodybuilders. What we found out was that there are a lot of people out there giving diets, and basically anyone who sits behind a keyboard and knows the first thing about nutrition, or some of them don't even know that. Let's be real. But anybody can give a diet. Anybody on earth can give a diet. Diets are, for the most part, fairly simple when you break it all down. And trust me, anybody with arms or a set of abs or a female with a booty, everybody just automatically thinks if they look the part, they must know the part. Everybody thinks that if somebody looks good, they must know what they're talking about. So I'm going to hire that person to give me a program. I want to look like you, so I'm going to hire you, I'm going to pay you some money, and away we go. Now, Ryan and I, being professionals, I have a sports nutrition background. Ryan is a kinesiologist. We've been studying and researching nutrition and fitness for most of our lives. We've got some of the top people in the nutrition world who were working with us, dietitians, registered dietitians. We had a doctor at one point working with us, a nurse practitioner working with us, a nutritionist working with us, and naturopathic doctor working with, we had the best working with us, and breaking down our programs and making them, in my opinion, perfect, balanced programs. And we were charging $1,500 for those programs, for the most part. We were elite coaches at that time and charging $1,500 for contest prep. And in my opinion, we were worth every penny of that because of our background, because of our experience, because of the amount of people that we helped along the way. And what we learned was what not to do. And that experience is worth money. I remember this as clear as day. My father worked at my grandfather's pump shop, and eventually he took over the pump shop. Now, what a pump shop is a place that people go to have their pumps that they use in their trailers, and pumps that they use in their cottages and in camps, and water pumps, septic pumps. And my father eventually took over that company. And over the years, he was a plumber, and over the years he learned how to repair these things. It took him all kinds of time and effort and school and study and all that stuff to become very proficient at this. And I remember a gentleman coming in there. I was in there on a Saturday, and I remember a gentleman coming in there. He drove 45 minutes from outside of town to get to the pump shop, and he brought the pump in, and he set it on the counter. He said, "This pump doesn't work, I need you to fix it." My dad said, "Okay, let me have a look." He took the pump, went in the back in the shop, and he came back out 15 minutes later. He said, "Here you go, pump's fixed." He said, "That'll be $125. And the guy said, "What? $125? It took you 15 minutes to fix this pump." My father looked him square in the face and said, "Yeah, but it took me 25 years of experience to learn how to fix that pump in 15 minutes." I never forgot that. And for those of you that are paying people online, the $50 and the $100 and the $200 for a person to train you and coach you, you get what you pay for, first of all. Second of all, the experience for most of these people is just not there. They just don't know what not to do. And that's the difference between somebody with experience and somebody without experience. Not that the person with experience knows more. In fact, the person who hasn't been doing it as long may have more book knowledge for sure. They may have studied more. There's a lot of people way smarter than me. Trust pretty much everybody. But when it comes to experience and what I've seen, there's very few people that know as much as I do from an experience standpoint. I know what not to do. Not only that, I walk the walk, and that's a big thing as well. There's a lot of people out there pushing diets. There's a lot of people out there pushing programs to help people who struggle with obesity or struggle with weight loss. And the problem with a lot of those folks, they've never been there. And I know a lot of people will say, "Well, Jason, that's silly. You don't have to have been overweight to understand what being overweight is like." Well, it sure helps. And here's why. Because being overweight isn't just about diet. Being overweight isn't just about exercise. Being overweight, a lot of times, is about this. And I've been there. And I know the struggle. And I know what it's like to be overweight. And I know what it feels like to be overweight. And I know the mental struggle that people deal with when they are overweight. So having the experience and having been there can absolutely make all the difference in the world, because in my experience, just knowing, I can have a master's degree in nutrition. I can have a master's degree in kinesiology. It doesn't mean that person or that I would know what that person is struggling with mentally and emotionally. And that is worth way more, in my experience and in my opinion, than just having the books smarts to go along with it. Now, being able to back it up, sure, I don't get on here and talk about my education. I don't get on here and talk about the years of courses that I've taken and my background, because to be perfectly honest with you, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It might matter to some people. It doesn't matter to me. I hear a lot of people on social media talking about their background and the education and all that stuff. That's cool. The issue is, books can only bring you so far. And then experience comes into play. Now, I have a dietitian that I work with very, very closely. And this isn't a knock on dietitians. Ryan and I, we did 15 or 16 interviews with dietitians. And not to paint it all with one brush, but we prefer to have people join us who not only have those smarts, and let's be real, a lot of times at university there's people studying from books that are archaic, that are ancient, that are not up to date. They're not learning the latest and the newest things in nutrition. Nutrition changes quickly, as all of us know. Remember when eggs were evil? Anyways, I digress. So we prefer to have people who have the education, but also have the experience, life experience, and who also understand that it's an ever-evolving thing. that they're not just stuck in their ways. Now, there's certain cases, and I would be the last person to deal with somebody who has a high level disease, nutritional issue. I would send them to my dietitian, my specialist. I wouldn't deal with that. I wouldn't deal with those people. It just wouldn't be responsible. If someone comes to me and has diverticulitis, I understand diverticulitis. I've had clients with diverticulitis and I've been a part of their mapping and of their journey, but I don't deal with them. I send them to my dietitian who has more in-depth knowledge of that issue. So again, there's generally with obesity, there's an underlying cause. There's an underlying issue there. A lot of people automatically think it has to do with nutrition. Most of the time it doesn't. Again, in my experience, it has to do with mental state. It has to do with emotions. And that is why you have to dig a little bit deeper. That's why somebody who just looks the part isn't necessarily always the part. So again, before you spend the $200 on that trainer that looks good, or before you spend the $200 on that nutrition plan from that person just because they have abs, it doesn't mean that they have the knowledge, or more importantly, the experience and the background to get you to where you want to be. So make sure you check into that a little bit, do some digging. Obviously, when you look at me, you know I'm old. I've got lots of experience. And now, being old doesn't matter either, because there's a lot of people who have the experience but don't match it with the knowledge. Luckily, I am an educational freak. I study every single day. I research this stuff every single day. I read a lot of books. Now I'm listening to more books than I'm reading. But I keep myself informed. I keep myself up to date. I study and research the latest information. My studies ongoing. I had a personal trainer certificate from CanFit. I did that whole thing when I was younger, when I was 19, when I was 20. I took all the courses, studied, passed the thing, got my CanFit Pro thing. It was all good. But then I didn't need to keep it up. I had lots of clients. So instead of just paying for the piece of paper and for the certification, just gave it up. It didn't hurt me in any way to stop doing that. I kept training people. I know how to train. I know how to train people. It doesn't mean, again, there's some, let's just put it this way, there's some foolishness in the industry where people are taking a weekend course and then they're becoming trainers and trying to help people. And those of you that have been to certain gyms know what I'm talking about when you look around and watch what the trainers are doing and how they're training people. It leaves something to be desired. Again, I'm not blaming, I'm not pointing fingers, well I kind of am. I just think that people need to do more research before they give $100, $200, or $6,000 to a person or a company and help them train themselves. Help them to train. Anyways, that was quite a rant. I apologize. This is what the treadmill talks look like. Sometimes I go off on a tangent. So, the bottom line to this treadmill talk, is do some research before you hire someone to help you. Make sure that person not only has some education, but check into the experience. Check into the number of clients they've had. Check into the number of years they've been doing this, because that does matter. You want to find somebody who not only talks the talk, walks the walk as well, and has a lot of people behind them that have had results. You'll be surprised how fast your list gets dwindled down to a very few people. Make sure you're dealing with someone who has the chops, who's been there and done that. Again, have they helped just bodybuilders? That's cool. Pick that person if you want to be a bodybuilder. Have they helped just men? Have they helped just women? Have they helped them all? Have they helped people from the ages of 7 to the ages of 92 and everyone and everything in between? Well, maybe that could help as well. Because at the end of the day, men require different than women. Every person, as a rule, has different goals, different metabolism, different backgrounds, different issues. So sometimes the plan needs to be customized a little bit. What I would do, if I was you, and you're looking to transform your body, the first thing I would do is I would sign up for round 2. I think you still can. I don't think it's too late yet. Maybe today. I don't know. But check into it. Type Sadik Hadzovic. Type that into Google and a ton of stuff pops up because he's one of the most famous fitness personalities. He's got the best body on the planet, but he's one of the most famous fitness personalities in the world today. More than that though, more than just being a famous fitness personality, there's a lot of those. He is a champion of champions. He is possibly the most humble professional athlete I have ever dealt with in my life. And I've dealt with a lot of professional athletes. He ranks in the top 3 for sure. He is a class act. He's funny. He's fun. He knows his stuff inside and out and has legitimately helped thousands of people transform their bodies in a short period of time. I can tell you this. I've been a part of a few transformation challenges, as most of you know. I have done very well with most of them. I have figured it out for an old guy. I figured out how to transform my own body. But I can tell you this, what Sadik gave me, and this is where I was going with this whole thing, what Sadik gave me was a new outlook, was a new energy, was a new start, a new beginning. That's what he gave me. He gave me this focus and this renewed energy for the health and fitness and wellness industry. He lit a fire under my butt. And that's what he can do for you as well. There's a community, a Facebook community that's very, very vocal, that's very, very engaged, that's very, very positive. That alone is worth registering for the program. It's $99 to sign up for this next transformation, and there's discount codes available. I'm not sure where the codes are. I mean, they're online, but you can save 20% right now. You can save 30%. There's some discount codes in there, so it makes it very, very cheap. And let me tell you what you get for it. It's worth 5 times the amount that you pay. Just the programs alone are worth every penny that you put into it. What you get out of it, and it's like everything in life, you get out of it what you put into it. What you get out of it is worth that and then some. Whether you win, lose, or it doesn't matter. Everybody wins if you sign up for this program and if you follow through and if you push yourself, if you're engaged in the group. And Sadik himself will answer pretty much every single question that you have right away. Not right away, I don't want to put him on the spot like that, but he does respond to pretty much everybody that asks him questions. So again, how can you go wrong with something like that? I did it. It changed my life. I have to tell you right away, it changed my life. It got me fired up and engaged, so I encourage all of you to look that up. Beyond the Physique, round 2, Sadik Hadzovic. Check it out. Treadmill Rants, Treadmill Talks. Take care, guys.